What is up, everyone? Welcome to the FPL chip strategy video. My name is Ryan. I almost bit my tongue. How is everyone doing? Welcome. We're going to be talking in terms of strategies, in terms of how I'm going to look into trying to claw down a mini league. So that's basically what we're going to be looking into this video, and also what risk we can take, and also what kind of doubles are we expecting from the upcoming double game week 34 and double game week 37? How is it going to look like? All of that stuff. But first, let me share this on social media that we're live to everyone as well. All right. Cool. I think we're good. Let me put this here. All right. Now, first things first, we have. Okay, this is way too big for you guys. I just realized. Let me open this in a new tab. We got this as when we could potentially be looking at like doubles in terms of 34, 37, like the potential possibilities of when doubles could happen. A lot, I guess we might know closer to next week's deadline probably. But for now, it's still kind of up in the air until the Premier League confirms. And apparently, a lot depends on when Everton Liverpool happens. If Everton Liverpool happens in 34, there is apparently a chance, I guess, that the 34 ends up becoming a bigger double game week. We kind of have to wait and see what, like all of that in terms of whether 34 is going to be a bigger double game week or 37 is going to be a bigger double game week. At the moment, we just don't know that information. If 34 does become a bigger double game week, like significantly bigger double game week, then I think I might most likely maybe wildcard 31 or even wildcard 33, bench boost 34, just in case if like injuries happen to key players during wildcard 31. Between wildcard 31 and 34, if injuries happen, then at least I can kind of like avoid that situation and then wildcard closer to the double game week. That's if 34 is the bigger double game week. Currently, I'm assuming if 37 is the bigger double game week, I kind of want to wildcard like 35. Bench boost 37 if 37 is the bigger double, but we don't know that, right? So for the moment, we're just going to assume that things are up in the air, and maybe next week we might have some information, not guaranteed, but for the moment, it's all up in the air. So game week 29, we're just going to ignore it. It never happened. You know the Men in Black flashlight thing? Yeah, that's basically what's happening here. That it never happened. So we got game week 30. Now, game week 30, I have a team that will most likely be like this. And I need to kind of take risk to try and get into the top 3 at least of this mini league. Now, it's possible, but I don't know. We'll have to see. This is the top 3 that I want to get. Pete, FPL Sidenet Podcast, here for some advice to beat my mates in the mini league. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm also thinking of doing, because I also need to try and get into the mini league, like trying to beat my, not mates, but my friends, work colleagues, mates, to try and get into the top 3 of this mini league. Ideally, get first, but first is like 1803. That's, I had like I've gone from 79 point. I went from like 100 points to clawing it down to about 79 as the lowest, I think. Sorry, 72 as the lowest, and now it's gone back up because, you know, when you play a free hit, you tend to get a red arrow these days. So that's what I've got. Whereas the guy who is on top didn't even play a free hit and managed to get away with a green. So right now the lead is 86 points. 86 points, 9 game weeks to go. Can I survive? Can I claw 86 points in 9 game weeks? That's what we're going to have a look at in terms of risk and whatnot. Obviously, live FPL is a very useful tool. And then Pete says, and avoid relegation in Elite 32. Yes, that's another thing we need to kind of look at as well. So I'll bring that up as well. Obviously, the Australian Elite. This is the league. Pete, where is Pete? Pete, you're 18th. Not too far. Pete is only 5 points ahead of me. So I kind of have to beat Pete as well in one ways. But I think we're all trying to avoid we're all trying to stay in the top 20 and not go anything below that. So what I'm going to look at least from this league, is how can I first get into that top 3? Because the top 3 at the moment, at least, is currently third place is 53 points ahead of me. So if I was to compare the guy in third with my current team, okay, this is not a good comparison because it looks at my free hit 29 squad, and it looks at his free hit 29 squad. So that's completely useless. So I'm just gonna have to go and do it the old-fashioned way. So this is his free hit 28. Sorry, Gameweek 28 squad, which will be Gameweek 29. I need to get Palmer. I have almost everyone else in his team. Obviously, I don't have Zabani. I don't have Walker. But he has Richarlison, and I have Pedro Porro as a differential. I have Garnacho as well as a differential. So it's all going to depend on what we get in terms of information of doubles in 34-37. My plan to at least cover this, now he himself would have to, he has 0.8 in the bank. So I don't know if he's going to like try and get Salah in, and how he's planning on getting Salah in. Like if I was to put his team into FPL.team and have a look, he has 0.8. I don't know how he would get Salah in. But one thing he does have is he has an advantage of having Palmer in the team already. Now I don't have Palmer in my team. So I'm going to have to do a transfer of Odegaard to Palmer for Gameweek 30. That's the first move. The next move that I'm thinking is, I know a lot of people are going for Salah, and I know the guys above would also probably go for Salah. And I have an option of either going for Salah or not going for Salah this specific week for Gameweek 30, and maybe avoid the whole Salah thing. I could probably play a team like this where Odegaard is Palmer. I could not go for Salah and just take a -4 simply. Probably do Odegaard to Palmer, and I probably do, depending on the doubles, if Liverpool get a double in 34 and 34 still remains a small double, then I might do like Areola to Kelleher as an option. Depends. Like I still have to decide. FPL Freddy, welcome. And Thin says thanks for the content. Yes, thank you. I'm gonna get Salah in 31, and we'll have to sell Watkins. See, that's the thing, right? So you're also thinking of getting Salah in 31. So I'm also thinking, right? If a lot of people are going for Salah in Gameweek 30, and Salah is probably going to be the most captain player in Gameweek 30, one of the potential risk that I could take is not going for Salah in Gameweek 30. I get Palmer in because he has a good fixture as well, and I probably captain Heung-min Son at home to Luton. Now I know they blanked in the last game against Fulham, but Fulham are a better team than Luton defensively as well, and that was Fulham at home, so Spurs away, but Spurs at home should be a better team. So probably captain Son, not go for Salah. That is probably the one differential move I could do. Another reason I'm thinking that is also because the guy at the top, he did a move that sold Solanke to Muniz, which means he freed up funds. And he freed up funds, most likely try and get Salah in for Gameweek 30. So I know he will get Salah in. So that's where I'm like, okay, maybe I take the differential punt of not having Salah. Could backfire significantly. Very risky move, but 9 game weeks to go. If I need to claw 86 points, I have to take risk. That's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, things could change if we get to know that the Gameweek 34 double is bigger. Then, even if the Gameweek 34 double is bigger, I could still avoid not going for Salah in 30 and just walk out in 31. So I don't have to take that extra -8 or something to get Salah in. Because look at this, 13.6 in the bank because he doesn't have Haaland as well. So he's most likely definitely going selling Barkley at least for Salah, which leaves him with 5.6. He could take a hit as well if he wanted to get Haaland. Ooh, could he take a hit? No, he can't take a hit to get Haaland back in unless he sells Watkins. So probably won't do that. We'll have to wait and see what he actually does, whether in terms of getting Haaland back in, because this guy doesn't have his wildcard anymore. The guy at that top place. So I most likely think he's going for Salah. He does very logical moves, so that probably seems like the logical play. So yeah, those are the potential risks I'm thinking about. What do you guys think? Don't go for Salah, just get Palmer. If 34 double is not as big and 37 ends up becoming a big double, then the second player for a -4 I'll take is someone who has a double in 34. And I'll walk out in 35 to be different and bench boost 37 if 37 is a bigger double. So Palmer has a very good game in 30. Yeah, that's why Palmer is like my first transfer for Gameweek 30. He's the first transfer, not Salah, because of the very good fixture. So Odegaard has got to go for Palmer. It's just that I don't want to do the move now itself, just in case something happens during international break. Someone gets injured, and then I'm like, yeah, then I'm screwed. I'll also bench Saka, which is another risk for Gameweek 30, and I'll start Garnacho. We'll see how things go. Maybe something like this. I like the strategy. Holding off an extra week for Salah isn't the end of the world. I would prioritize Palmer. Yeah, that's what man loves a double return. Exactly right. Palmer is also not a bad captaincy option for me. I have thought about that as well. Either captaining Palmer or captaining Son, one of the two. Both have good fixtures at home. So one of them could be really good captaincy options if I don't get Salah, which I probably won't. Just captain one of them. So we'll kind of see how things go. Obviously, defense isn't great for this week. I could go and get Gusto in for a -4. But I feel like I think the Areola to Kelleher move for a -4 might be slightly better. Potentially. Maybe. I don't know. Should I start Areola or should I start Dubravka? Hard to tell who I should even start. Maybe I start Dubravka at home and just take a hit for a defender. Like move Doherty out, get Gusto in or something. I would have liked to go for Bradley, but Trent is rumored to come back Gameweek 30, so that kind of puts me off Bradley. But I wanted like a Liverpool player for their Brighton fixture. Whether it was a defensive play, it wasn't an issue. So I kind of have to think about that. But it's got to be someone cheap. So, well, let's see. I'll think about it. But I need to try and get differential players compared to my mini league opponents. So right now, if you think your mini league opponents are going to do very like straightforward moves, especially when it comes to like the Australian Elite League as well, right? People at the top, in general, all of us are generally well aware of the template and like the like straightforward moves to do. Like look at everyone captaining Son or Tony. It's all very like everyone knows like what the template is and what the template is thinking. So the only way to either gain rank is to either make smart decisions, but the reward is low, but the risk at the same time is also low. Or you take a couple of risk. The reward is high, but the risk is also high. Or you kind of just have to get lucky. with variance and like the smart decisions that you make, the one or two players that are different to the rest of your team, if they score big, you go big. So that's the one thing to kind of consider. So yeah, this is just me rambling on like what I could potentially do. Obviously, playing your chips in different weeks is also not a bad idea as a differential move. All depends on what we get in terms of double game week 34 and 37 and which one ends up becoming the bigger double. Because if 34 is the bigger double, there's no reason for me to delay the wild card. So whichever is the bigger double, that will be where like I decide how to play my wild card. Cool. Any questions? That's my rambling done. Any team related questions? We can bring it up. This is the video to discuss. I could do a wildcard game week 30 video. I've seen a lot of people like looking at wildcard game week 30. Maybe might hold that out for the closer to the end of the week if I was to do one. Do we know when Trent might be back? The rumor, well, I think I don't know if it was Klopp who said it or I don't know which one, but the rumor was potentially by game week 30 he should be back or like after the international break. Expected back 7th of April, 1st of April, 7th of April is game week 32. But I thought I saw somewhere on, I don't know if it was Klopp's team news. Team news. Team news for game week 29. Did Liverpool have? Yes. Here we go. Mo is definitely ready. Curtis Jones and I think the other two for the week after a chance. See, that's the thing. I see Curtis Jones and I think Diego and Trent for the week after a chance. So I don't know if this when he means week after, if he means they'll be ready for game week 30 or he means a week after game week 30. So that is probably something to kind of wait and see. That's one thing that I'm not sure yet. So like if Trent, for example, is supposedly back later than what we expect, then maybe Bradley becomes a really nice option. But for now, at least, I think Kelleher might be a decent option. Obviously, it depends on like how doubles go out. I need to remove either Solanke or Watkins to make budget space for Salah. With potential upcoming double game week for Bournemouth, would it make more sense to hold to Solanke? Yes, I think it probably might make more sense to hold to Solanke. He was thinking of downgrading Solanke to Semenyo. Ooh, see, that's a very tempting move. I was also potentially thinking, now I don't know how the doubles will go because I initially saw this double. Let me say this this prediction as well from and FPL James, where it just shows like Bournemouth and Wolves doubling, and I was like, if this happens, then maybe I just do like Watkins to Semenyo, and have both Solanke and Semenyo as like double game week players for 34. That's also something that I was kind of thinking about. So you could do that, or you could also do downgrade Solanke to Semenyo. If let's say, for example, we get something like this, then maybe downgrading Solanke to Semenyo is also not a bad option. But then, do you have your wildcard still, Pete? Do you have your wildcard? Let me see. Pete. Yes, you do have your wildcard. So it depends on like when the like what is the like if the what's your plan on when to wildcard? Because if the bigger double is 37, then what are you gonna do? The bigger double is 34. What are you gonna do? Because that might change how you approach it as well. So I'm looking at your team. You yourself, what is your plan? Are you looking to get Palmer in this week as well for Game Week 30? Oh wait, this is not your team. I keep forgetting. That's the free hit team. This is your team. You have Palmer, obviously you do. So you're looking to get Salah in. Probably wildcard 35, 36 and dead end into that after double game week 34. Yep. Okay, so that's something similar to what I'm trying as well. The only thing that would change my plan on that would be if 34 becomes the bigger double. If 34 becomes the bigger double, then I kinda don't have much reason to not wildcard before 34, if that makes sense. SJ, welcome. How are you doing, SJ? Both free hit and double game week was massive flop. So far, all the special weeks in terms of both double game weeks in 25 and 28 have been disastrous. The double game week the blank game week in 29 has also been a disappointment. Maybe 34 and 37 or so, we shouldn't have our hopes up too much. But SJ, you said Antonio will outscore Watkins, and he definitely did. I wish I went. But yeah, I know 2 consecutive red arrows. To be honest, I am on now. This is the second time that I've got a red arrow on a free hit. 2 consecutive seasons, I've got a red arrow on a free hit. Here we are. But I still think that the aim for top 100k is still on. What to do? It is what it is. So yeah, I think Pete, for you, depending on your how you're planning to approach it, maybe you sell Watkins. But I've also thought, right, like Watkins, I know he has City, but Watkins' fixture in Game Week 30 and Game Week 32 are really good fixtures. I'm happy you remember me. Yeah, when Antonio got there, I was like, yep, this is something SJ mentioned. And I was like, I also mentioned Muniz on the deadline stream. I need to go for Muniz. I did mention it on the deadline stream. I can't believe it. I think my bench scored more points on a free hit than my actual team did on a free hit. 11, 6. Robinson and Martinez alone scored more points than my entire 11 on the free hit. I wish I could rage transfer Region out. But I have to see his face for another week because I have Doherty, who is slightly more valuable in terms of money to sell. Mira, how are you doing? Welcome, Mira. See, Mira is someone who benefited from the conversation we had in terms of deciding on which cheap forward to go to try and free up funds in Game Week 30. She went and got Muniz. You mentioned Muniz and Mira enters the chat. I know, right? I had a conversation with Mira as well about Muniz. But here we are. I wish I did go. Next time I should next season, if any of you guys see me playing a free hit, and if it's in a blank game week, and if I don't have I don't have cover from every single team, please let me know, because I think Fulham was the only team that I didn't have a single player on my starting 11, and they're the only team that kind of performed. I literally avoided the only team that performed in the week and didn't start them. Sad. Oh well, it is what it is. We move forward. Yeah, when Muniz didn't want to keep Morris longer than I need, Muniz lets me get back to Haaland in one move. See, that's the thing. Yeah. So yeah, just to inform SJ and Mira FPL Mez in terms of what we've been discussing. Basically about like how to one in terms of Pete and myself, how to kind of survive and stay in the top 20 of the Australian elite, and also how I'm going to get into the top 3 of this mini league, where third place is like 53 points ahead of me, and first place is like 86 points ahead of me. So I kind of need to decide how I'm going to navigate. And one of the discussions was maybe I don't go and get Salah in Gameweek 30, and I get Palmer for Odegaard, and either captain one of Son or Palmer as a differential, and also potentially, depending on when Trent is back, if Trent is back later, they maybe do Doughty to Bradley, or if Trent is back by Gameweek 30, maybe do Areola to Kelleher. Haven't really decided, and obviously potentially wildcard 35, bench boost 37. But if game week 34 ends up becoming the bigger double than 37, then I might wildcard like 33 maybe. I have to see the fixtures. I haven't properly checked it yet, but maybe 33 wildcard and bench boost 34. So yeah, that's kind of everything is up in there. Maybe next week we might have a bit more clarity on that. I see you, Pete. Yes, indeed. Pete is there. Oh, Pete is there. Pete is tied for 18th. Whew, 2 points. 2 points. And then Mira has also managed to catch up. She's like 7 points behind me. Oh no, it's just basically just one player. One player can make the entire difference. But that's how small the margins are, right? Like even the top 10, 1753. That isn't too far, if I'm not mistaken. How many points is that? It's like 36 points from 10th to where I am at. Not too far. A couple weeks and you could probably gain that. Never know. Just need things to go for you. Relegation salvage job now. Definitely. Pete will be making graphics and we'll be avoiding showing the top 10 and we'll be showing like 11th to 20th basically. That's the graphics you'll have to start making. Because that's the graphics we need to see what where everyone is. So yeah, and also another risk that I was thinking of taking for Game Week 30 was benching Saka and starting Garnacho. That was another risk that I was thinking about taking. So these are the few risks that I'm currently looking at in terms of like trying to start to try and claw some rank back, or like to try and win a mini league or even get into the top 3 of the mini league. In other news, the most embarrassing yet most, this is just peak FPL. So I'm in a head-to-head mini league. Unfortunately, I lost. So I went from possibly winning 17 games to now on 16. So the lead got bigger by about 4 wins now. And I lost in the utmost peak FPL fashion to a guy who has stopped playing and had only 4 players play this week. He had Leno and Robinson on the bench, by the way. They got subbed in because, he didn't have anyone else playing. This is just peak FPL. FPL Freddy says, I think I'm going to dead end team into 30 for wildcard 35, bench for 37. Yep, I think that's also something similar I'm thinking about if 37 ends up becoming the bigger double. Wildcard 33 and bench boost 34 could be good. Yes, that could also be good. I might do, so that's the thing. So I might either dead end into 34, wildcard 35, bench boost 37, if 37 is the bigger double. Or if 34 is the bigger double, then I might do the wildcard 33, bench boost 34. But for now, I don't know. I haven't really thought where exactly to play those chips. But those are the 2 options right now. All depends on what type of news we get. So yeah, trying to avoid the rest of the disaster that was Game Week 29. How is the football Chatbox mini league looking like? SJ, who is in the chat, still holds top place with FPL Master just behind. Dr. Viper third, Abdurrahman fourth, Zodiac fifth, Matthew sixth, Ved is also on sixth. Jose Mourinho. I wonder if this is the actual. No, this is not the actual Jose Mourinho. And then Mr. Rank and Mark in 10th. Anup, welcome. How are you doing? I've only got bench boost left. Sad. Don't worry, Anup. You'll be fine. You'll be completely fine. What's your team looking like, Anup? I think you should be fine. Should be able to navigate the situation. Yeah, that's how things are looking like right now. Interestingly. 49th. Let's have a look. Yeah, here we go. So, Muni's on the bench. Welcome to my pain. What is your team? So you got. It's not too bad actually. You've already got like the players you need to have. Your team is in a decent position, and if Bournemouth get like if the double ends up becoming something like this, where it's only Bournemouth and Wolves doubling, then you're already in a pretty good spot. I think you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. We just need to see what type of double game week news comes. If 34 ends up becoming a bigger double, we could look to remove. Obviously, Region might have to go. You could remove Areola as well. Taylor will have to go as well. So you kind of have to switch your bench up. Watkins will need to go. So you'll have 4 players to sell for now. The rest you can kind of keep because all of the rest might potentially have a double. So we kind of have to wait and see. Chelsea will have a double in like 35, 36 also. Yes, that's true. So that will have to kind of. That's what I want to wait and see how things go. Need Salah. For you to get Salah, you're willing to wait a week. You could do Son to Salah in like 31. Or you could sell Watkins in 31 and do, depending on how the doubles are announced, maybe Gordon to Salah. Is that a possibility? Could that be a possibility? Let's have a look. So if you did something like this, where you have 3.5 in the bank. Let's say you kept the team as it is and you went here at 31. Would you sell Son against West Ham? I don't know if I would even sell Son against West Ham. Let's say you sold Watkins, right? For who would we even go for? This is where I'm not really sure what. This is where like depends on how the double plan out. Because if only Bournemouth are doubling, it's slightly different. But if there are so many teams doubling, kind of have to slightly alter. Darwin is an option potentially. Hoyland is not a bad shot as well, to be honest. Or maybe not. Slightly tough fixtures. Need to think about this in terms of how Darwin is never an option. True. Darwin is a want, but never a need. He's a nice to have, Darwin. He's a nice to have that comes with a side of pain. Muniz, yeah, you could do Muniz actually. The only thing with Muniz is Muniz won't have a double game week in 34. So you're not really getting a double game player per se. But if you're going to get Muniz, I would then even potentially. Would you sell Watkins in 34 ahead of Wolves? Or would you sell Solanke in Game Week 30? Because Muniz, his best game is in Game Week 30 against Sheffield United. So maybe sell Solanke or sell Watkins. Watkins is probably the one to sell, technically speaking. Especially since you don't have a wildcard. To get that Sheffield United game. And then you can take a hit if you wanted to sell Gordon and get Salah in. You could do this with a -4. Which, looking at it now, doesn't seem like a bad idea. Do something like this. Could even start Saka if you wanted to. For a -4, not too bad. Isak, you could get Isak, but you'll have to take another hit somewhere. That's where I think if you can wait for 31, maybe, depending on how the doubles fall, maybe you might even look to sell Heung-min Son. Even though he has West Ham and Forest, and even Newcastle is not a bad fixture. But 2 away games after that, so maybe you could look to sell Son instead of Gordon over here. That would help with the budget. So yeah, those are a few things you kind of have to see. Depending on the problem is, so it's so hard to plan for things right now when we don't know where the doubles will be like. So just have a couple different options open. I think for now, what I would do is I would just enjoy the rest of the week, chill, and from next week maybe we get some news about the doubles and start planning from next week. Probably what I would do, unless people were on a Game Week 30 wildcard already. Then if you're on a Game Week 30 wildcard, I'll just like try and see if I can farm team value or something. So yeah, that is the current situation. Any further questions from anyone? I think Isak is also not a bad shot. All depends on like fixtures and whatnot, and when we get doubles and all of that. But with everything up in the air, hard to kind of tell what specific week to look at, because Fulham are not going to get a double. Even though they have a nice fixture until like 33, they technically have good fixtures, Fulham. 34 is tough, but 35 and 36 is also not too bad. So technically speaking, Muniz is a pretty good hold, except for 34 and 37 when the big doubles are. Every other week, Muniz is actually a really good, nice hold. So depending on when you're playing your bench boost, it could be a very good option to hold on the other weeks. I think Gusto will be popular soon. Oh yeah, I think Gusto should be popular by Game Week 30. If you don't get Gusto in Game Week 30, I think you can look to get in 32, because Game Week 31 is not really a need to get Gusto. Chelsea players will become very, very more like higher importance. Wait a second. Oh wait, these are the official fixtures, right? So they've removed the fixtures for all the FA Cup teams. Interesting. I didn't even notice that. I just noticed it. That means they've FPL Towers is very fast on the acting. They've removed all the Game Week 34 teams. The teams that have an FA Cup fixture. So maybe we might get news about the double slightly earlier. Who knows? We'll see. All the teams that have a fixture in 34, they've removed. Oh, sorry, have a FA Cup fixture in 34, they've removed. We'll see what happens. That means any fixture can go here. It could be the fixture that was actually assigned for 34. It could also be the fixture that was delayed in 29 can go here as well. Which team do you follow? Good win, by the way. Good win on on Sunday. Cool. So yeah, we'll see how things go. I think I'm gonna free hit him one of those doubles. Probably still 34. Need to work it out. Yeah, I think so. I. It depends on when. What actually looks like the potential window of wildcarding and whatnot. And also depends on chips that are left. Was wondering how long before that will come up. See, Mira, these are in a season like what United are having. These are the small gifts that are given in the season that you kind of have to like cling on to. But yeah, it is. Oh well, we'll move forward. Move into the next game now. Cool. I think we'll end it there. Maybe potentially. Because I don't know what else to actually say with like so much uncertainty on when we're going to get the doubles. But for now, 9 game weeks left, and I am willing to take various types of risk to try and claw down this mini league. So 86 points on the top, 53 in third place. I think I'll first target third place, try and take risks to try and get into the top 3, and then see whether we can claw to get into first. But yeah, that is basically that all I've got. We'll see how things go. But thank you for listening to me ramble. Unless there are any further questions before we end. I do not want to see Gameweek 29 again. I'm going to always display this screen. Good stream. Enjoy the international break. Yes, indeed. I plan to take a break from FPL. Maybe plan something for the long weekend for next week. Summer trip or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, hit like. Indeed, hit like. That's a good time to actually make sure hit like and subscribe if you guys are new. We are currently 18 away from 700 subscribers. Ideally, I would like to hit 1K subscribers before the end of the season or by the end of the season, but we'll wait and see. But hit like Mira said, and also go make sure to follow Mira on her channel, FPL Sidenet, who does a audio podcast on wherever you get your audio podcast from. And thank you to everyone who's watched and listened. To Mira, Pete, Anup, Freddy, SJ, Sanjay, then who else? Tin, and everyone else who's watching in the background. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you all from next week onwards for the usual content, but maybe a potential wildcard video sometime later this week if we get some information about the doubles. Having said that, thank you all for watching. Enjoy your week. Don't think about FPL too much. Just enjoy the week, and I will see you all next week. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later.